Hello and welcome to another Indie Sunday. Today we're going to be playing Nonotown. And well, Nonotown is a game about nonograms, and I've played some of those before on the channel. I've played The Amazing Murder by Numbers, a whole probably 30 hours of stuff you can watch, although the actual puzzle part is probably closer to about 15, 12, something like that. Actually, probably more closely to 12. The rest is kind of visual novel-like story, and I've played Picross Touch on an Indie Sunday before, quite a long time ago. I think it was one of the first ones. And now I've seen another one in the Steam store, and there's kind of a thing where with games like this, it's really like if you've got a good one or a great one, why would you ever play another one? Because it's not like there's any story or anything like that. It's purely just presentation of an interface. And Picross Touch allows Steam Workshop support as well. I don't know if this game does, actually. I've not checked, but that pretty much also makes sure you have an endless amount of possible riddles. So why would you ever play a different one? And that's why we're just trying it out, trying to see maybe it is better. Maybe it just feels nicer to play. Maybe it looks nicer. We'll see. An option that I've seen in the options menu, actually, that is quite nice, is the option to change the interface colors. Because you're gonna be spending 99% of the time looking at the game interface. So being able to change its colors to something that, you enjoy more or just feel like it's nicer to look at is just a real positive. And I've chosen this one. It looks very aggressive potentially at first glance, but I just like the contrast being quite high, and it should make it fairly easy to tell what is going on. I'd hope, at least. If it's not good, we can change it later. Anyway, let's see. I don't know what color is, actually. We'll start with the classic. Just try out the classic. We'll try out color later. What are these? Teller? Sport? Alright, they're not translated. So that means plates. Well, sport is sport, and that's kitchen. I don't know why they're not translated. It was actually pretty hilarious how when I started the game up, it was in German by default. But when I went into the options menu, it said it's in English. I just clicked on English again, and it translated half of it, apparently. We'll just play level 1. Alright, so for those of you who have not seen any of the other stuff I've done on this kind of game, basically the general concept of it is that you have a bunch of rows, a bunch of columns, and in these rows and columns you see numbers. Basically, those numbers tell you exactly how many cells in each column or row have are filled out, basically. And with that, you kind of can solve the whole thing. For example, I'm actually going to have to figure out the controls here first. Okay. Okay. So basically, left click confirms as color, right click can give you an X. So we have a 0 here. So that means none of these cells in this row will be colored in. And I can drag, which is nice, good. That's basic functionality that should work. That's the obvious one. 0 means there's nothing here. The next most obvious things are stuff like 12. Because you see you have 15 rows here. If you've got 12 of those 15 cells filled out, that means there's a bunch of them that have to be filled out no matter where exactly those 12 go. By the way, other thing I didn't tell you, if it says something like 4 and 4, that means there's 2 stretches of 4 cells, and there's at least 1 space in between them. If it's 12, it's 12 continuous cells. So, because of it saying 12 here, and we know we've got 15, that means we've got 3 cells leeway on either side. So those, for example, and those, we don't know about. They're not X's, but we just don't know about. Everything in between has to be filled out. No matter if we start up here, we're going to go to down here. If we start here, we're going to go down to the bottom. So these have to be filled in. Obviously, same thing over here. What we also know by that is looking at these rows, we can actually tell quite a bit. First of all, this is actually only 10 columns. So these that say 8, we already can fill out because we know there's one row on each, one column on each side that's not filled out. So we can just go like this and complete those. Now, what we also know, this is 6. That means if it starts here, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this needs to be filled out at least. Same from this side, so this needs to be filled out at least. Then, what we can do is, this is 4 and 4, this row. If this one even were to end here and start here, you can't get 4 anymore. So at most, this can go down to here, and these have to be empty. Same is true for this, it's symmetrical. Is it actually completely... It's symmetrical from, like, either side. It's not symmetrical top to bottom. Then, we also know that this row, all of these 3 actually, they have a 4 in the middle and 2 1s on either side. What you can do to calculate how many spots those take at least is you can add those together, and then you add 1 for each empty space that has to be in between them. So we've got 1, empty space is 2, plus 4 is 6, empty space is 7, plus 1 is 8. That means that's basically the same as these rows, where we can just say it has to go like this, otherwise there's not enough space. So you can just fill those out like this. There we go. It even added the x's automatically. What we can also do, because this is a 4, we've got 2 here, so that can at most extend to here, that can at most extend to here. That also means that this has to be a 4 here, because it can't go past that x. Same is true here. So these 2 are empty, because obviously you can't fit another 4 up there, and you've already got some blocks down here. Now, we've got a 2 here. We don't know if this is the first 2. It shows it, but that's not necessarily the case. In fact, it can't be. Because we've got the same scenario here as we've got up here. We've got 3 2s, which is 6, and 2 spaces, which adds up to 8. So we know this must go like this. From then on, we have a 2 up here and an 8 down there. The 2 goes somewhere in there. We can't really do much with that at the moment, except say, okay, it has to... Well, we have the 6 here, which has to go in here because everything else is filled out. That is a thing anyway. Usually, well, nonograms, there's kind of 2 types of nonograms. Ones that make a picture in the end and ones that don't. So you could say now, okay, this is probably making a picture because it's under a theme. And the theme has nothing to do with numbers, just like, you know, I think it was plates or something like that. So you'd say, okay, probably symmetrical, probably here. But you don't know that. Probably, but I don't like to play like that. This goes here, obviously, because it's an 8. Where was it? Okay, that automatically fills out these, so there we go. And then we were at the 8. So we've got 4 here. If we started here... Well, actually, if we started here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these 2 have to be filled out. That's the most up top we can start. And obviously, if you start any lower, they also have to be filled out. Same is true over here. That means those spaces are filled out. Quite likely, it will be these as well, because, you know, it's symmetrical. But either way, yeah, these 2 have to be filled out just because of the 12. That also means this one has to be filled out, this one has to be filled out, these 2 have to be filled out, and these 2 have to be filled out. There we go. Roasted chicken. Alright. Yep, I could see it perfectly clearly from the other screen. I guess we do have to click back to the main menu. Okay. In an ideal world, it would put me not back to the main menu, but back to here at least. Or like at least give me the option. Maybe give me the option to go back here to this screen. Because right now I just had to put in like 2 unnecessary clicks. I do actually want to play color now, though, because I don't know what it is. 5 by 5. Oh, this is translated. Dishes. Okay. What does that actually mean? Okay. It's basically just so you can have some color in the image. And it does actually make a slight difference, because what it does is it means that you can't just say, okay, this, like for this, for example, or some instance of, oh, it's actually different as well. There doesn't have to be a space if the color changes. So this works. That's interesting. Okay. We can obviously add this. And then we can add this and this. There we go. Barbecue ribs. I mean, I don't know what ribs you've got, but mine don't look like that. You have something that's a little bit more complicated. Okay, 20 by 20. That is a little bit more complicated. Ah, right. Yep, certainly looks more complicated. Either way, though, it's still only 20. So first glance, you've got... Oh, no, I forgot I can't do that because it's different colors, so I can't calculate with spaces. So this is only 19. Because otherwise it'd be 21 and wouldn't work in the first place. But we can still do some easy stuff with them. For example, this is 17.2. We don't know if there's a space between the two, but we do know that even if it starts with 2 here and then immediately continues to 17, it has to go at least to here. And we can basically fill out 16, 4, 9, 14, 16. That's guaranteed. We can do similar stuff with this 16. Because it goes to 19. So basically, at least it has to go to here. And then it has to fill out at least 15, I think. 9, 14, 15. Because then you can have 1, 2, or you can have 1, 2. And then you can have 16. What else have we got? We can do the same things here with any number, basically, that's higher than 10. We can't do it with 10 because... I mean, we can in this... well, whatever. I'll just do it. We have 13 here, and we've got 5 apart from that. So, let me just do... actually, let me do that. It doesn't mean that that's not... I need a third kind of symbol to mark off these fields. I'm going to remove them later on anyway. But that's the most right it can be. That's the most left it can be. So anything between here, those 10, need to be filled out. That's basically it. I'm pretty sure. So if we start here... Wait, no, that's wrong. Wait, let me think. Oh, I forgot. I can't do it that way because I've not got 20 here, obviously. I've got 18, so I need to go 2 further. That's it. Yep. That works. So if we'd start here, we'd get to 13 here. If we'd start here, we'd get to 13 at the end of it. Yeah, that's better. We've got 14 here, which means we have... that's even 20 in the first place, isn't it? I didn't realize that earlier. Okay. So we've got that, and we've got yellow in here. Okay. That is interesting in other places, because, for example, if you look at this has a 1 in yellow, and below that is 4 in green and 1 in blue, which is everything down here, because there's nothing else. I'd like some sort of shortcut to change colors, just to be like, okay, if I press this button, it changes to this color. That would make it a lot easier, so I don't have to click on it every time. I don't know if it exists. If it does, it didn't tell me about it. There's no tutorial anyway. At least I didn't see one. And there's no settings for controls, I don't think. Either way, what else can we do? We've got a 1 here. Yeah, we've got the same scenario here, because technically, you know, this says, okay, it could be that one, but we know with the space we've got left, it can't be. So we've got the same here. That's not what I wanted. Then, what else can we do? What have we got? up here that's high. Okay, we've got a 14 here. We've got 2 in blue. What do we have in total? In total, we've got 17. So we've got... well, this we don't know. But from the top, we have 2 at the bottom. So we basically have 5, I think, at the top. Wait, does that make sense? 15. 5 at the top. And then we'd have... Wait, if I did that and then had 4... No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know where my math is going wrong, but it doesn't make sense. We need to have 16 spaces at the bottom, so 4. And that's the latest it can start. The earliest it could start is up here, but that's the latest. So that would have to go down here, and then we're already at 12. We could get 13, 14, and still work. Yeah, that's it. Okay, then that's an interesting one because this is only 9. So if this is the latest it goes, it would have to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is empty, and the same goes for this because of the 8. We know there's only a 3 here, so at most it can go up to here or down to here. Anything else, empty. 5 here is similar scenario where we've got 3, 4, 5, anything up here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anything down here. Just that one. Okay. Then we've got the 5 down here, which does eliminate that. It doesn't eliminate anything else, purely because, well, we've got other numbers here. It could be anything. And we've got the same scenario here, actually. What that does mean is we can fill out that 4, and because it's the same color, we can actually mark that one off, because that can't be the 2, because then it's not a 4, it's a 6. What we can also do, because this starts with a green 4, and that can at the earliest start there, because otherwise, again, it's not a 4. Does that help me at the moment? Presumably not much. I did go towards that, so that has to be green as well. That can't be the 16 if it's up here, because if this were to connect through, you'd have, well, way more than 16. And also no space for the 2 and 1. So this has to be an X, this has to be yellow, and this has to be an X, which also... Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, now that's... Wait, oh, never mind. It's not an X, the 16 continues through. It has to go until here. I didn't realize, I thought I'd already screwed it up. Which would have been strange because I didn't think I did anything particularly risky or not fall through. Either way, this being a 6 means at most it can extend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That should have been fairly obvious, but anyway. At most it can extend up to here. Then, what else do we have? Because of that, we're now here down to a little bit less. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These have to be filled out. Similar situation here, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These have to be filled out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that works. What does that tell us? We have some other interesting things here. Here we start with a red one and then have an 8 green. So the red one can at the highest start here and then can immediately go into green, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Has to go at least until down here. Similar scenario here. 1, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 here. I don't think it works with this because we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, which we've already filled out. Let me think about this. This has to be the green too because it can't connect to down there. Does that help me at all? I don't think it does, no. Alright. I think this is too much space for the 8 to mean anything, although it could be maybe one cell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, it's not. This is an interesting one, because it means this has to be the 5. That means this is all empty. Same scenario here, this has to be the 4, which means this is all empty. Which brings up another interesting thing, because I think 4, 1, 1 has to be filled out, because otherwise we don't have enough spaces left. Might be the same here too. Red 1, but no, not quite. But I think this has to be. Yeah, even at the earliest, this has to be filled out. What else do we have? I also think this has to be filled. Yes, this also has to be green. Because if we start here, we've got 5, then we've got 1, and then 2. This has to be filled out. Or if we start 5, then we've got 1, then we've got 2. This has to be filled out either way. We don't have enough spaces left otherwise. I've never done anything with the 13 here, which I might as well. We already know this is empty. So we've got 19 cells left, and this adds up to 16. So we can have 3 left at the end, technically. Now, I don't actually want to mark it off like that, because that would be confusing. But we've got 3 left at the end that it can... I just want a third symbol. I want like a circle. I can't actually have like a circle, can I? No. Okay. Either way, if it starts 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Other direction 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's just... When I've done these kinds of puzzles for too long, my brain just stops working, so it's just easier to count. Alright, with that out of the way... okay. Does that help? I think what I can say with confidence is that the 4, the green 4, has to be up here. Because if that was the red 1, and the green 4 started here, basically, I'd have a red 1 here, and then a green oh shit. Wait, was that it? No. 4 would have to start here. Yeah, then I'd need a red 1 and a green 1, which it can't be, so 4 has to be up here. Which means that 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the other direction we have a 1 here, so it's these 2. Or is it all 3? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, all 3 actually have to be green. Does that help at all? We can kind of exclude a little bit here again, because that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is not green, or any other color for that matter. And this goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is all empty. What else does that mean? I can do can I do a little bit here? No, I can't actually. This could still reasonably start down here. I can't do anything with that. Or, yeah. Can't exclude anything there. What else? This can also still reasonably be anywhere, really. I guess I can do something with this, because this is also quite high. We've got 18 here. So we need at least until... These 2 we don't need, but the latest it can start is here. If I'm not doing anything wrong, which I shouldn't be. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 I would have to, because it can still go until here. What else does that do? Got 7 here at the bottom. We've already got 5, so these 2 are blank. we've already got that 5, but that doesn't necessarily help us at all because, well, I mean, there doesn't need to be spaces. We've got an 11 here at the top, which is very interesting because we've only got one green and this is green, so we can connect these. And here we've got 9, so it can at most extend up to here. And because of that, we can say that these 3 definitely have to be blue. Doesn't help a bunch, but it helps a little. Should have also helped. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't have enough space for 2 there, so this has to be at least where it starts. For this one here, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spots left, so 2 either way. That should be the 2 indeed. It has to be. That doesn't help me. Same scenario here. It's the 5. Doesn't help me at the moment. Got a green 6 here at the end, so that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That has to be at least until here. Okay. Then, I mean, this has to be green, this has to connect. These have to be blue. Then, that could actually be interesting. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is a minimum here. From the other side, same scenario as above. Oops, not green, blue. These have to be blue. That's only a 2, which means that these are gone. That is a 4, which means that also has to be blue. Give me 1 second. I need to turn off my alarm. Alright. Let's continue. Alright then. Because of that, this needs to be a 6, so it needs to go up at least to here. What does that do exactly? This is still a 17. I don't think we can have any additional information from that. This is a 2 at the end, so this is done. Does that help? Yes, that does help because that means this is done. So, I mean, it doesn't help much, but something. Alright. Where else can we go from here? Oh, right. This is a green 3, so that goes in here. That's a green 5, that's okay. Oh, but that continues to 7, that completes the 17, I mean. Either way, that means the 13 is completed here. Doesn't really do much again, but we'll take whatever we can get. What do we have here? 5. So we know this is definitely empty. Yeah, we can do a little bit here with the 7, I think. If this is the 2, if it's as far back as here, which it could be, then we'd have 1 here in yellow. And then we'd start here with the 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These have to be green. The automatic algorithm or whatever it is to mark those off doesn't quite work yet fully because, like, well, you've got the 2 and you've got a 3. That's perfect. Completely wrong order there, but sure, you do you, algorithm. Okay. That is interesting though, because we've already got 5 here, so this can't be part of the 6, which means it's part of the 2, which means this is empty. Same scenario here, the 5 is already complete, which means this is part of the 3, which means this is yellow, which means this is all empty. And this is the blue 2. Now this is also a blue 2 then, which means that is complete, which means that needs to be empty because otherwise it's not a 2 anymore, which means that needs to be green, which means it connects to these to make the 5. Then we've got a blue 4 in here, which means it has to be at least those 2. Well, we actually have a blue 3 here, which means it automatically has to be that anyway. Yeah, wait a second. If this was the last, and we don't want to, this also has to be blue, which means this is empty. Which means there's the blue. Which means that's blue. Which means that's empty. Okay, which means that has to be the one, which means that has to be empty. That has to be blue. That is the 4 already, so these have to be, well, that has to be the 4, basically. That has to be the 4. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 means that has to be empty. That means 2, 6, that means these 2 have to be green to complete the 8. Okay. What have we got left down here? This is a green 7, so that adds 1 up here. That means that is the green 2, that means that has to be the red 1 for that to be the green 3. That has to be the green 7 over here, which means it can at most go up until here. Oops. Okay. Funny scenario here, because none of these connect. Like, for those 3s, none of these connect to 3s. They're all slightly too far apart, which means this and this are the 3s, which means this has to be the 6. It means it can't go further beyond here. What else have we got in here? We've got a yellow 3 here. That can go up until here, but what it does at the same time is it limits the number of possible options for the 5 pretty far, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These have to be part of the green 5, which automatically means this has to be part of the yellow 3. Which means this has to be the green 4, which I could have told, could have known earlier. Actually, I couldn't have. I knew it was part of the green 4. I didn't know it went up here instead of down there. That also means, because I needed green 1 and a yellow 2 somewhere in front of it here, it fills out both of these. And then the green 13 just completes that row. Here we have a green 2 at the top, which means it goes here and here. Then we have the yellow 3 to fill out this. There has to be a blue here. That means the green has to go up here. That means this has to connect. That means this has to connect. That means there needs to be a green here. Which means there needs to be a blue here. That's an X. That's fine. That means this needs to be red. This needs to be a 5. And this needs to be red. 1, 5, 1, 1, 1, 6, 4. Yes, okay. That's red, so that means that has to be, wait a second. That has to be green. That has to be red again for the green 3 to work here. For that to be a yellow 2, for that to be a green 2. Which means that is also done. That green 2 is up there, so that means this has to be empty. which means the 5 goes until here to fill that up with a red 1. The 8 obviously needs to connect here. The 6 needs to connect, which makes this a red 4, which solves a lot of the problems up in these columns. That starts with a red 1, so that is done here. This has to be a green 2, which at the same time fills out that red 6, which means this has to be the red 2. This has to be the red 4. That then means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's complete. That actually needs one more. That needs to be yellow. That needs to be yellow. 3, 1, 3. Yeah, that needs to be green. That needs to be red. And that needs to be green. And that needs to be blue. Oh, and that needs to be green. I was like, where? I don't see any other cells. Roller skating. Yeah, kind of. I can see it. Nice. Alright. What time do we have? 24:54. Okay. What is the kitchen room? It's also 20 by 20. I want to do like one more. What do we have? Something huge in here. 15 by 25. The last kitchen room. Let's try that. Okay, well, we'll start with the 25s. There we go. 13 is great. Because, you know what 13 means? 13 means it's got a cell in here. That's literally it. It's actually not true, because we know this is done, so we can get rid of something here, which means we've got a little bit more, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We've got a little bit more. Beyond that, oh wait, we've got, these are all 1s, so we can mark these off, because we're not playing color anymore. I mean, they're also interesting, because they can't connect, so these have to, which means this ends here. These are all just 7s, so they need to connect here. And fill out that completely. These are also all 7s, so they also need to connect here. These are just 2s, so there's a lot here that can't be filled in. These are also 7s. Jesus Christ, what is this? One, yeah, that also has to be. Wait, does it have to be? No, it doesn't. It doesn't actually. Could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then that empty. Yeah, doesn't have to be. This has to be a 5 though. These are also 1s, so can mark off these. That's a 1, that's a 1. The 13 then needs to go up here. The 15 needs to connect all of them either way, and it has to, well, it's all of them, actually. It's a 15 by 25, of course it's all of them. I didn't see that earlier. This needs to be marked off. In fact, because these are also all 1s, these also need to be marked off. These are also all 1s to start with, and so are these, which means that automatically has to go down here, which means this has to connect, which means this has to connect, which means this has to connect, this has to connect, this has to connect, this has to connect, these have to connect, and these have to be... Okay, well, I clicked on the 15 by 25 because I thought it'd be a little bit more difficult, like the color one was. But no, it wasn't in the slightest. It was... What was my time, actually? 2 minutes 42. Alright. You know what? I don't think we've done any sports yet. Let's see how fast I can do that 5 by 10. Okay. Because the thing is with nonograms that the size of it doesn't necessarily always decide how difficult it is or can be. Well, so how difficult it can be, maybe slightly, but in general, it's not always the case that, you know, a bigger nonogram is more difficult than a smaller one. In this case, yeah, there's only so much you can do really with a super small one. We might let's actually do one more color to finish it off, because what was that? 22 seconds. Actually, what was there? Another easy one. Let's see. Let's go. Do it real fast. 10. Those are all 10s. Those are 5s. Those are 5s. That means that's a 3. That's a 2. That's a 1. That's a 5. There we go. Can opener. All right. That was satisfying. Time was it? 8 seconds. Nice. You know what? If they're that easy, let me just finish them. I'll try to speedrun them a bit. Just because I can. 19 means everything except these. 16 means it goes at least to here. 6 means, well, this is all empty, this is all empty, this is all empty. These are empty for sure, so at these, and 9 means this is all filled up. 7 means these are filled at least, the 6 has to come here. Can a 6 potentially? Yes, it could. 4 means these are empty. These are empty anyway. These are filled. The 8 needs to connect through anyway. This is also all connected. This is empty. That means the 6 goes here. The 1 goes... Actually, shit. No. Wait, I can't even empty that? I guess because that would mean it's true. Okay, never mind. We'll leave it at that then. Fill out that, fill out these, fill out these, fill out these, fill out that. Okay. I was a bit hasty there, but just a slight mishap that didn't actually mean too much. Just miscounted, I guess. It was minute 12. Sports 10 by 10. Oh, that's I mean, it's not super difficult, but it's a little bit more interesting because they're all small numbers. But we can start with the 6. You've got 9 here, so that basically needs to be that. There, this also needs to be filled out. These are 1s, so that needs to be empty. From there... Oh, this is actually interesting. I mean, we can do a little bit with this, because this adds up to 9. So we can fill out... I think it's these. 1 empty, 1, 2, 3, or 1 empty. Yeah, these. Means this is empty, which means these are empty. We could still fit both 2s in here. Well, these have to be empty. Not that that means a whole lot. Could this be part of the 3? No, it can't. Could it be part of the 2? Empty. 1. No, it can't, so it has to be the 1. Means there's a 2. There's the 3. These are empty. Beyond that, we can say there's no 4 that can fit in here, so it has to be here. That also means the 2 can't be here, it has to be here. Someone, there can't be no 2 there. This has to be filled out. This has to be the 3. This has to be the 1 then. This has to be the 2. This has to be empty. That means this has to be the 1. This has to be the 2. That means this has to be the 2. This has to be the 3. This has to be empty. Right. What now? There actually isn't much that's coming. Oh, the 4 here. I didn't see that. That makes it a lot clearer. Because that means the 1 needs to go here. The 3 needs to go here. Okay, that fills out that. And the 2 needs to go here, which means that the 1 needs to go here and the 1 needs to go here. Okay, baseball. Wait, what? Oh, it's a really zoomed in picture of the object, a baseball. I was like, what the hell is this? How is that a baseball? Do we have any left? Yeah, 1 more. We'll go through that. 15, I think it was a 15 by 10, yes. Okay, 13. 7 needs to extend at least to here. Anything else? They all start with 1s, don't they? Yes, so this is all gone, which means these are 2s. This is all empty, confirmed. This ends in a 2, this ends in a 1, this ends in a 2. That means this also is a 1. This is a 3. Because this is a 7, we've got 6, that means these are empty. This is a 3 at the end. This continues with a 2, this continues with a 1, this continues with a 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. 7 needs to go down to at least here. 3 can't go down further than there. This starts with a 2. I'm assuming, yeah, we need all of those. This is a 1, this is a 2. That means this is part of the 3. That means this has to be yellow, but also part of the 3 automatically anyway. Which means this has to be the 1, which closes off that. This has to be the 2, which closes off these. We need 2 more 1s, which means that has to be a 1, which closes off that. We need 3 more 1s in here, which means this has to be a 1, closes off that. This has to be a 2, so this has to be part of that, which means that's a 2 there, which means that's a 3, that's a 1. That's closed off, which means there's the missing 1 here. We need 2 more 1s in this one, so they have to come there. And they have to come here in this row. And this needs to be closed off. The 2 missing ones have to come here. This needs to be done. This is a missing 1, so are these. That needs to be closed off. That is a 1, so that has to be, 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 so that has to be. There we go, a colander. Yep, I can see that. Alright. And now we are actually doing one last one. I know I've said this about a billion times, but now that we've completed all of the easier ones, except... yeah, the first one we did, well, I explained what the concept of it was, and I hadn't done one in like a year, so it took me a while to get up to scratch, but we've got one more. After that, we've completed every puzzle in here, so at least we've got 100%. Alright. Oh, other colors as well. By the way, I've been very happy with my choice of background color. It's worked out quite well, I think. Right, let's start with the 18. It's a 20 by 20, so that means all of this. That is interesting in a couple of cases, because a 12 here is the most it goes down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Never mind. I had hopes. But I mean, at least it should fill in quite a bit of those, because it's 19, so the least, the furthest, no, the least it can go down to is here. So I can connect this. This is 18, so I can connect this. And we've got the same scenario here. I can do a little bit at least. This ends in a 9. which means, and starts in a 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it has that in the middle of it. So that automatically means it's done. And we've got the same scenario in all of these. Okay, maybe this is a little easier than I anticipated at the start, but that's not a problem. We've also got this, which is filled out, actually. 9. There we go. That fills out a bunch. Let's do it like this. It's a more comfortable mouse movement, so I can do it quicker. So as up and down is easier to do than left and right. All right, and we know these end with 10s, so we know they go down here, and these are empty. They have 12s in the middle, so we also know that these are all filled in with that. We do know that that's filled up. And that means these are filled up too. Right. That completes the 11 actually, so we know these are empty. Then that completes the 18 because of those X's. We now also only have 18 in these rows, so that makes this fairly straightforward. Wow, this one is actually just easier that way. There we go. Wait, this is just empty to begin with. This also only has 16 left in it, actually. These have to be filled up. And that means these have to be blue. And there we're done. Okay, never mind then. That was quicker than I thought. Yeah, it is a toaster. A Christian toaster, apparently. Now it's just a lever you pull down to put the toast in. But it does look a lot like a cross. Alright. Yeah, that's it, I guess. We've completed all of the levels. There's no more at the moment. I think there's probably some more that will be developed. But yeah, I mean, at the moment, I could say go try them out for yourself. But now you've seen them, so it's kind of like, well... but yeah, I always enjoy doing nonograms. Once in a while. I mean, I don't want to be doing them 24/7, but, you know, they're a nice change of pace, I guess. And yeah, I'll keep an eye out on this game, see if it gets bigger, I guess. I think a lot of the interfacing is already quite nice. How it auto-completes rows when you're done with them, like kind of just X's them out, is good. The algorithm to kind of mark off which cell thing you've completed is slightly broken. But yeah, either way, I had a fun time. I hope you enjoyed watching too. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. Till then, bye.